One thing that I find is great about Middle East studies is the interdisciplinarity and the freedom you have within it. And what I mean by that is a lot of the insights that I've drawn, a lot of the concepts I've been introduced to through Middle East studies have had both the privilege to kind of study things on a theoretical level and also in a very practical applied level.
Well, one thing that's interested me is, again, what are the boundaries between area specializations? I have one of the most interesting classes that I took was last semester with Wazira Zamindar, called Theory from the South. And I think one of the most exciting, what I thought was extremely exciting about that class was that the potential to be theorizing across regional specializations, and to be seeing how, conversations about representation, power, colonialism within South Asia can speak to similar studies in Latin America, similar studies in the Middle East.
Honestly, I mean, the Middle East is so fascinating. I don't understand how not everyone is studying it. This is definitely, I think, one of the best departments at Brown. It's very small, so you always have small classes. You have a lot of individual attention. There's a really strong community.
I think the highlight of my time here was at least so far, it was the first conference on new directions in Palestinian studies. As someone who is really involved in the study of Palestine and the conflict, seeing and interacting with people who came to this conference and who came to Brown from different places, from Palestine, from New York, for even the other side of the country in Canada.
I think what's really good about the Middle East department is it's not solely, politics and history focused. There's a lot of emphasis on talking about art and culture, and I think that a really important part in understanding the region is actually looking at the people and the culture and what I like to call the human factor.
The first class that I took at Brown, which really solidified my decision, was The Roots of Radical Islam, taught by a professor who's no longer here. But it was just to analyze something that we only hear about in media outlets it was so practical.
To be in a place where it's one of the most exciting intellectual communities on campus is so much more heartening. It really produces much more engaged scholarship from all the graduate students and faculty involved, because there's just this energy to it. There's this vibe, And that was exactly what I was looking for.
That's what's really fascinating and really great about this department, because there's so few people involved. It really becomes like a family, and everyone knows each other. You have really instant and very consistent access to whatever materials you need, your professor's time. You can go in whenever. It's a very, very hands-on developmental process, and I really appreciated that.
Because the department it's growing, yet small and intimate, there are so many opportunities for you to really find your niche and your interests and develop on that, both within your academic and extracurricular life.
People ask me sort of, what are you doing, what are you studying at Brown? I say Middle East Studies, and they often look very confused because they don't exactly know what that entails. And I find myself, whenever I kind of elaborate upon that and describe what Middle East Studies is about, I say it's essentially the history, culture, politics, and language of the region. And if you think about it, that's just fantastic that you're able to study all of these different aspects of this one region, and that sort of formulates one concentration. You're not just looking at the history. You're not just looking at the politics. You're sort of taking this wholesome view of this ridiculously interesting region.